Well, hello there, Protoss players. I hear you're in the market for a PvZ build order walkthrough, and your wish is my command. Today I'm working on the Twilight All-In build. It opens with a Forge Fast Expand, so if you're struggling, practice that opening first a few times before moving on to the rest. When I say so, you should pause this video and start a game versus an easy AI Zerg opponent. When it loads, pause the game and come back here. I'll give you a countdown to resume the game. Ready? Pause the video. Oh hi! Get ready to unpause the game and build your first probe in 10 seconds. Four, 3, 2, 1, go! Okay, so you just started your first probe. Keep building them. You'll build your first pylon after starting your 9th probe. You should have just started your 9th probe. Pull a probe out to build a pylon at your natural wall, then send it back to mine. Your pylon should finish when your 10th probe does. Start your 11th probe as soon as possible and then chrono boost the nexus. Chrono boost the nexus again. You should be building your 13th probe. You should have just started your 14th probe. As soon as it's out, use this probe to scout your opponent's base. Once you've scouted, take this probe back to the watchtower. Chrono boost your nexus now. You're about to start your 17th probe. Don't make more after this one. Take a probe to the natural and warp in a nexus there. Warp in a forge at the natural wall off. Warp in another pylon at the wall off. Warp in a gateway at the natural wall off, then resume probe production and chrono boost the nexus. Bring your probe at the natural back to mine. Your forge is done. Send a probe down to warp in a cannon at the natural wall. Keep this probe at the natural. Warp in both assimilators at the main. You should have about 21 probes at this point. Your nexus is done. Send 6 probes from the main to mine there. Warp in a cybernetics core at the natural wall off, then send this probe to mine at the natural. Chrono boost both nexi with the main. Your assimilators are done. Put 3 probes on each. You should now have 9 probes mining minerals at the main and 8 at the natural. Start a zealot at the gateway. The game clock should be at about 5 minutes, which is around when you want to be finishing this Forge Fast Expand opener. From there you can transition to several different tech options, but we're doing the Twilight All-In. Start researching +1 weapons at the forge. Build a pylon at the main and research Warp Gate when the cybernetics core finishes. You should be at 31 supply. Chrono boost both nexi now. Build a pylon in the main. Take this probe to mine at the natural. Start a stalker at the gateway and stop making probes at the natural after this one. Build a mothership core at the natural and chrono boost it out. Build a pylon behind the natural mineral line. Your mothership core is done. Move out to apply pressure with it and your zealot when your stalker finishes. Build 2 assimilators at your natural and a hidden Twilight Council in your main. Build a pylon in your main and chrono boost both Nexi. If you encounter roaches or speedlings while applying pressure, return your units behind your natural wall until you have Dark Templar. Send out a probe to start building proxy pylons. Try to place 2 before your Dark Shrine finishes. Don't worry about getting 1 super close. You'll place that when you start applying pressure. Chrono boost the forge with your main and put 3 probes on each of the natural's gases. Chrono boost the main with the natural. Set the main's rally point to the natural mineral line and build a hidden Dark Shrine now. Start researching Blink at the Twilight Council. Build a pylon in the main. You should be around 53 supply in almost to 8 minutes. Warp in 3 gateways in the main. Start researching +2 weapons and chrono boost it with the main. Also, stop building probes. Transform your gateway into a warp gate now. Start your second proxy pylon if you haven't yet. Warp in 4 more gateways in the main. Chrono boost the forge and Twilight Council now. Your first 3 gateways are done. Transform them into warp gates. Warp in 3 Dark Templar at your proxy pylon. Send 1 to each Zerg base to determine the Zerg army composition and to take out drones. Build another pylon in the main. Also, your 4 gateways are almost done. Transform them to warp gates as soon as possible. Warp in a stalker at the proxy pylon and bring it and your probe to meet the mothership core, stalker, and zealot near your opponent's base. Warp in 8 stalkers at your proxy pylon and then build a closer proxy pylon with your probe. Chrono boost the forge and then as many gateways as possible to reduce their cooldown. The clock should now be about 10:30. Continue warping in stalkers. Time your attack with finishing +2 weapons and blink. Keep chrono boosting the gateways whenever possible and warping in stalkers. It's an all-in, so keep up the pressure. Don't forget to blink back injured stalkers. Good luck!